Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. well, um, I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe I should do the bad news first. The bad news is I am aching all over. The good news is all of my flowers and plants are planted. So I don't have that over my head anymore. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for everything to settle. But yeah, I planted everything, I watered everything. Now it's just a matter of time. Uh, until then, me and Arthur are going to be very well acquainted. And if you don't know who Arthur is, you're not over 40. If you're over 40, you're very well acquainted with Arthur. Oh man. Oh, oh, yeah. There we go. Be cool, Arthur. Be cool. Um, uh, well, this is one of those days when I am so glad that I went ahead and sprung for the recliner that heats and vibrates. Oh, yes. Oh, twist, turn. Okay. Wow. All right. I think I'm settled. Compton Caligal, thank you so much for being here first. There are no prizes, but I really do appreciate it. Connie Bomber. Hey, Connie Bomber, thank you so much for being here. Connie Bomber, she's a charmer. Connie Bomber, ba 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 ba. She's a bomber. Connie Charmer. Ah, see there, I am delirious with pain. But yes, thank you so much for being here, Connie Bomber. Let's see. Ingrid Soares is here. Mary H. Marie Fabian. Oh, how sweet. Well, thank you so much. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be waiting here for you. Wasn't that a song by Richard Marx? Right here waiting for you. Let me see. Richard Marx, waiting for you. Yes, that was Richard Marx. Yeah. Oceans apart, day after day, and slowly I go insane. I hear your voice on the line, but it doesn't stop the pain. What a song, right? If I see you next to never, but how can we say forever? Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you. Whatever it takes, or how my heart breaks, I will be right here waiting for you. I love that song. They don't write them like that no more, do they? Richard Marx. Uh, I think he bought a mansion on the North Shore, in the suburbs on the North Shore, and he lived there for quite some time. You know what? You can live right on the lake in one of the northern suburbs for a bargain compared to most places. I mean, could you imagine that? Lake Michigan is your backyard. And let's say you live in a not a urban area, but a suburban area, although there are a few lucky people that do live within the city of Chicago, and the Lake Michigan is literally their backyard. Could you imagine that? Having that beach, yeah, beach house like vibe. in a the third largest city in the country. Who could be so lucky? Oh, you love that song too? Yeah. Richard Marx suburban mansion. A Lake Bluff mansion owned by 80s pop star Richard Marx and his ex-wife Cynthia Rhodes sold this week for 4.2 million, a deep discount from the original asking price. Oh man. You guys, you got to see this. You got to see this. I am going to share this with you. Marx and his then wife bought the property in 1997 for a little more than 3.1 million. A 5-acre lakefront parcel includes a grand 7-bedroom mansion built in 1931. 400 feet of private Lake Michigan beach. Oh, you guys got to see this. You got to see this. Look at this. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? And let's say Lake Bluff, you're probably what, a 30-minute drive from downtown Chicago? Yeah, probably a 30-minute drive from downtown Chicago. Marx, a native of the Chicago suburb, had 4 consecutive albums go platinum in the 80s and the 90s. What a beautiful house. That is beautiful. That is very oh my God, I'm looking at some of the rooms. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Okay, let me give you a close up of the driveway. I mean, you can see it from here, but I don't think you could really appreciate the aesthetic beauty of it until you see it like from the street level. Huh. Well, it's not allowing me to open. That's okay. I got a thing for that. Okay, now let's try it. Huh. Look at that. Look at that. That is a compound. I mean, you have that, you have the main house, and then you have that wing on, well, those wings on either side. You know what I'm saying? Those wings are bigger than Aretha Franklin in a dress with spaghetti straps. If you know, you know. Sandra says, Red Horse Ginger. Sorry, y'all, I'm a little tipsy, so I need the mod squad to keep an eye out. I might be most for the okay, got it. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super sticker. Are you celebrating the quick exit of the what is his name? Charles and his cohort. I'm sorry, consort, cohort. What was her name? Camila. Yeah. Are you celebrating how quick they left? Oh man. What a beautiful house, right? Okay. Am I going to hire him? I'm sorry. Are you going to retire him? Are you going to retire him? You know what? I don't even remember what I just said. What did I say? Oh, I don't know what I said. Okay. Oh well, let me get moving here. That's enough of dreaming about this beautiful lakefront property. Could you imagine that? I mean, Lake Michigan is literally your back door in Lake Bluff, Illinois. How beautiful. You know, you got the little in-law place there. That is gorgeous. You didn't know anything like that exists around the Chicago area, did you? But it does. Just think, 1931, this was probably started during the Great Depression, and whoever built it decided to continue with the build because by 1931, the economy was pretty bad off, right? 1933, Roosevelt becomes president with his New Deal. So I just imagine you built something as lofty as this, and the next thing you know, the Great Depression. Probably took a few years to build, so I'm sure they laid the cornerstone just at the start of the Great Depression. Melina Lucia, thank you so much for being here. Oh, retiring singers. Yes, you know what? I almost forgot about that topic. The retiring singers. You guys, I was feeling kind of bad about my stance on those singers. But listen, today, Professor spoke about Tom Cruise. And some of the stuff he said about Tom Cruise, I could have cried for Tom Cruise. I felt bad for him. Professor was like really going in about how the movie industry is not what it used to be. And anyway, he was saying that Tom Cruise looked, kind of sad. And when the camera zoomed in on him, oh my God, you should have heard it. You should have heard it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. I felt kind of bad because I promise you, it wasn't the exact same thing that I said, but it kind of echoed my sentiments in a way where you just wonder, why is this person still at it? Why don't they go sit down somewhere, right? Why don't they listen to Nina Simone and sit down? Um, hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Oh, man. But yes, Professor was brutal, y'all. Brutal. He didn't start off that way. I didn't think he meant it that way, but I was like, Professor, leave that old man alone. Let me see here. Oh, look at that. He spent 13 minutes talking about it. Okay, let me get to like the last part because I think that's where the meat of it was.
For me. And it was lovely. And he was talking about the death of cinema and I'm inclined to agree, but I don't think it has to die. I think cinema can be revived. I would love to help out in that process, but that's about taking the best and making it better and knocking this formulaic stuff on the head. We know what cinema can do. Cinema can drown us in the moment and can lift us up and again in the moment. But it's that moment. And when I look at a film which is so leadenly edited as this was in the first half, more than the first half, and then I look at something like Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia does the same thing that Mission Impossible does. You've got so many minutes to sort out this problem. This is your goal. This is what you've got to do, and you've got to do it by that point. But whereas Lawrence of Arabia gives you about 10 of these episodes, which are all structured like mini movies, and it's so clever. So by the time you get to the end, you don't feel like you watched a huge film. In the case of Mission Impossible, this is based on some 5-minute sections, and there's so many of them, you feel exhausted, utterly exhausted. You just think, actually, by the time you get to about the 15th of these little moments, you think, I don't care. I don't care. What I found so interesting, and other people have said, when Cruise isn't on screen, the whole film sags. I don't agree. There were some wonderful little cameos from some of the other actors when Cruise was not on screen, and I really enjoyed them. Peg is a joy to watch, and you really feel for him. But the other thing that worried me about this film is it reminded me so much of Diamonds Are Forever. The point at which you realised, or the point at which you realised that Sean Connery was too old for the part, and I don't think that Tom Cruise should be taking his shirt off or doing a whole scene in his underwear. It's not respectable. It's not attractive.
Damn. Did you hear what he just said? I don't think Tom Cruise should be taking his shirt off. or seeing his underwear. I'm like, Professor, damn. Okay, wait. Let me do that little part over again. I told you, he was kind of brutal.
A 60-year-old with a lot of support. And yeah, he's incredible. And I don't think that Tom Cruise should be taking his shirt off or doing a whole scene in his underwear. It's not respectable. It's not attractive. It's and he doesn't look like a 30-year-old. He looks like a 60-year-old with a lot of support and incredibly fit. Yeah, but it's not. You know, there were moments where the camera got a bit too close to his jowls, and this is a 60-year-old man. I know. I'm 64. I know, and I think Tom Cruise is remarkable. He's remarkable. Been no doubt at all about that. And there are moments when he looks at the camera and he looks 24. But there are other moments when he looks as if he's had a very tough day and a tough life.
Damn, Professor. Good Lord. Now, see, y'all thought I was bad yesterday. You know, you don't want to go there, but the way he was like hemming and hawing, and they should not. The camera got too close to his jowls. Woo! Listen, this could not have been more timely. I wonder if Professor listens to Royal Sussex, because I promise you, we just talked about that last night, right? You all know that. And then today, there he is. He went to go and see Mission Impossible. He said he was the only person in the theater. And by the way, that's Professor Tim Wilson. Make sure we give him credit for his work. That is Professor Tim Wilson. And I know exactly what he's saying. It's gotten to that point. I mean, yes, there are some people that don't look like what 50, 60, 70 looks like. Like Wilford Brimley. There's a famous picture of Wilford Brimley, who I think he was like 42 or something like that. And you compare him to someone else, modern day, the same age he was when his career really took off, with the movie, what was it? Where the older people were in that was it no some pond or lagoon or something like that. Anyway, and they were made vital and strong again. Well, it's you compare like Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker was in his 40s. Carol O'Connor was in his 40s when he started All in the Family, right? And I mean, look at me. I'm well into my, let me see. Was I over 50? I think I was over 50. Yeah, I think I was over 50 here. I was over 50. So, yeah, the way people and Professor's not that old. Professor's not as old as he looks. I forgot how old he said he was, but yeah, it's a very odd thing about how people age now. But I don't think Tom Cruise should take his shirt off. I mean, even I didn't go there, and he shouldn't do a whole he shouldn't do a whole scene in his underwear. Lord have mercy. Professor 64? Professor is 64? God, we're so close in age. Why does he look like, well, never mind. I bet you he's very smooth up under the beard and everything. My goodness. Oh well. Um okay. Okay. Well, Sussex Team Warrior, you know, how do I say this? It's better to let these things kind of marinate for a couple of days. Wait until because otherwise we don't want to bring the attention to such things, right? There's a lot of stuff like that. I don't even mention it in the first day, so we shouldn't bring that kind of attention to it. Give it a couple of days and wait and see if it's like you know what do you call it? And wait and see if it's like viral or something like that. But yeah, let's try to avoid those. I don't mention everything that I see, and I've seen some doozies, but I don't mention everything that I see. Like I didn't share the picture of Harry ringing the doorbell because you know I was kind of hoping it would go away. So yeah, just try to avoid some of those things because we don't want to be the ones to bring so much attention to it. I mean, if it's like a topic that we've already done. But those little digs like that, I've seen Kimmel and a few other people, and I just don't bother with them because it it only brings them more attention, and we have to really we don't have to answer to everything is what I'm trying to say. So um, try to avoid those. Yeah, right. We don't want to encourage people to rush over there, especially if it's something negative. We just leave it. We don't want to give them that traffic. Definitely don't want to give them that traffic. So yeah, just you guys forget that you heard that. Strike that from the record. We don't want to run over there and give them that kind of traffic. Yeah, I didn't even mention it. I didn't even mention it because it was kind of hurtful for me, and I didn't even want to mention that. So some of those things is better just to just to leave it. Unless it becomes a viral thing and it you know, and especially if the Sussexes respond to something like that, better leave it be. Just like the one from Saturday Night Live. I mean, people shared it with me, but I didn't bother with it. But those things are going to come up. They're going to come up, but better left alone. Okay. Let me see who sent this card to me. I forgot who it was. Look at that beautiful pattern. Isn't that beautiful? Some of the cards you guys send me, I actually, scanned them. Well, I mean, I just screenshot them, and I'll edit them a bit if I need to take something out of it, just to make it useful. But yeah, I love that pattern. That is so cool to me. But yeah, again, thank you so much for that. I came across it today, and yeah, there you go. All right, so how Meghan built her pioneering partnership with Netflix. As the first season of her podcast ends, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is looking to build on the success of As Ever, the brand she built with Netflix. Now, she did an interview with Fast Company. It don't seem like it was such a big interview. The article is not even that long, but let's see here. As you can see on the right side, it says correction. This story has been updated to reflect that As Ever products may be restocked in the future. Now, the reason why they did that is because some people took from this article that there won't be a restock, especially with the raspberry preserve. But the truth is, it may or may not happen. But they don't want people to walk away thinking that it definitely won't happen. So they added this correction to the article. So I'm sharing that with you, just in case you hear somewhere that that this is not coming back or nothing's coming back. We don't know that. We don't know that. So let's just assume that it will. And if for whatever reason it doesn't, um, you know, it is what it is. The making the raspberry preserve, well, raspberry is very seasonal, and especially the quality of raspberry that one can gather. Oh, and you know what? Every time in my mind's eye, I could see that huge container of those big, juicy raspberries. I mean, I could just dive into that vat of raspberries and yeah, and just try to munch my way out of there. That's how good it looked. Um, but there's a lot of things that's in development, and the way that things sold out, and it caught everyone off guard. We don't know how many units were created, and I don't particularly care. Um, if Megan needs to experiment with her products, I would gladly participate in any way that I can. So, um, yeah, they're still finding their footing, and especially if you've been listening to these the podcast, the Limonada, what is it? Confessions of a Female Founder. This has been amazing. It really has. And I know that some of the very critical people are really laying into the idea that this was not um, as big as the first time, but it's not meant to be. This is a collection of interviews. And from what this article said, there's actually other founders who have asked to be in the next round of the interviews or the confessions, meaning that they may actually do another set of the confessions. Nothing is for certain because Megan may want to change the topic and move on, but there is a bunch of other women who want to participate, and that's a good thing. Just like there's a bunch of people who want those products and didn't get them the first round. And that's a good thing. So, again, we're here to support whatever happens, no matter how the chips may fall. We will be here to support. So it's all good. All right. So if there's someone from Archwell that's listening, or someone from, as ever or with love listening, just know that we are here for the ride. Okay, so let me. What did I do with that article? It's Fast Company. That's interesting. Now I know I had it. Is that it? Nope. Nope. I wonder if I deleted it. Okay, I don't need that. Ah, no, that's Richard Marx. Okay. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, Fast Company. Ah, there we go. I guess I did delete it. All right. Okay. Disaster averted. I got what I need. Okay, I can make this easier for me if I move that over there. All right, so I'm just going to skim through this article. As the first season of her podcast ends, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is looking to build on the success of As Ever, the brand she built with Netflix. Meghan carries many titles these days. Besides being the Duchess of Sussex, she's a podcaster, a philanthropist, a children's book author, the star of the Netflix show, As Ever, and the founder of a direct-to-customer startup. But when I sit down to speak with her, she says she's recently taken on a new role. That's the Tooth Fairy. How cute is this? Archie, her son, 6-year-old Archie, recently lost his first tooth. Meghan rushed home to ensure she could be the one to leave a little money and a small dinosaur. Oh, that's so sweet. Under his pillow at 2 a.m. Archie woke up. Archie woke Meghan up excitedly to tell her what had happened. And let's see. I had a lot of business meetings the next morning, but I still chose to cuddle with him the rest of the night, she says. Those mom moments energized me to be a better founder, a better employer, and a better boss. How sweet is that? Not just money, but also a dinosaur. Don't you love it? Okay, so these kind of work details. Okay, where did I leave off? Okay, yeah. These are the kind of work-life details that Meghan likes to get into her podcast series, Confessions of a Female Founder, made with production company Lemonada Media, which is also behind podcasts by Sarah Silverman and David Duchovny. Two people I don't care nothing about, just so we're on the subject. But it has had more than 800,000 downloads since its April launch. So 800,000 downloads since the April launch. On the show, Meghan talks with female founders about the origins of their business. Okay, I'm going to skip that part. The 8-part series, she spoke to guests ranging from Bumble's, okay, I'm going to skip that part, a pioneering Netflix deal, A conversation with Blakely, who, of course, is the founder of Spanx. Meghan talks about how she partnered with Netflix to create As Ever, her brand, which launched in February. The line includes, okay, skip. Over the past few years, even Netflix subscribers numbers have continued to show impressive growth. It added 18.91 million. That's 18.91 million subscribers, a year-over-year increase of 15.9%. And the fourth quarter of 2024, it also has been, okay, skip. Meghan says she has been exploring various ways to, okay, skip. Okay, yeah, it says, well, if you listen to the podcast, Meghan wanted to do everything herself, but when Netflix offered to partner, she said that idea took a big U-turn. So that's what they're talking about there. Okay, Meghan also points out that Netflix is not just a financial backer. The company's consumer packaged good team works closely with Meghan's team to manufacture the products. And by the way, you guys, Netflix does have products. They do have products available for sale. You'd have to go to their products to see for yourself. I know they have done some partnerships and such with branding the Bridgerton, and of course the whatever that spooky show is with those kids. Okay, what comes next for As Ever? As Ever's first collection was a runaway success. Meghan says even though the team spent a year preparing the line and forecasting demand, all the products on the site sold out in 45 minutes. Now they're trying to plan As Ever's next phase. Okay. The easiest thing to do is to have been to endlessly restock the popular products, which would likely sell out very quickly again. But while the As Ever team has hinted online that its items will be back on sale soon, Meghan also wants to take a step back, gather data from the launch, and figure out exactly what As Ever could be. She says she's planning to announce new products. Are you ready for this? She says she's planning to announce new products in the first quarter of 2026. Yes, she's planning to announce new products in the first quarter of 2026. So have your checkbooks ready. Have your checkbook ready. Well, the announcement is for the first quarter. So we may not have anything for sale for the rest of the year. We don't know. They may do a restock. We'll have to see. But there you go. There are some clues about what the new items will be in the pipeline. Meghan trademark applications for her brand include things like cookbooks, tableware, cutlery, and servingware. I want to really focus on the hospitality angle of As Ever, but as we take the learnings, we can understand what customers need are we can understand what the customer's needs are seasonally, she says. There are many models for successful celebrity brands as Meghan contemplates what comes next. And then it speaks of Selena Gomez, Kim Kardashian, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jessica Alba, etc. But for now, she believes it makes sense to build a brand around a single idea. And Meghan says, my heart is very deeply in my home. She says, everything comes from being rooted in the love story of your home and garden. And then you can imagine different verticals coming out of that. So that is a quote from Meghan right there. In the future, though, The sky's the limit. I asked her whether she might explore a clothing business since many women are drawn to her personal style. The category of fashion is something I will explore at a later date, says Meghan, because I do think that's interesting. That's an interesting space for me, she says. She continues building as ever. There's a good chance we'll hear about her twists and turns through the next podcast. There's interest in doing a second season. That's where I got that from. There's an interest in doing a second season of Confessions of a Female Founder. And many female founders have approached her to be a guest on the series. But Meghan is now involved in such a wide range of projects, she's sure to find some way to tell her story. And this is the last thing it says. If I had to write a resume, I don't know what I would call myself, she says. I think it speaks to this chapter many of us find ourselves in, where none of us are one note, but I believe all of the notes that I am playing are part of the same song. So again, where she is right now is not just one note. She believes that it's all the notes that she is playing is part of the same song. So not a very big interview with Fast Company, but it is helpful because we do understand them, better what to expect in the future. Leg says the update hinted at restock before 2026. Thank you very much for that clarity, Legs. Yes, a restock before 2026. I hope so. And of course, with the holiday season starting in the fall, the possibilities are limitless, right? But yeah, thank you so much for that clarity. Okay, let's move on. How cute. How cute. This is just adorable overload. And I cannot see it enough. I literally cannot see it enough. I love those kids. I love those kids. I would babysit those kids for free. Yeah, I would babysit those kids for free. They are just too precious and too adorable. What is this one? Let me see. I want to show the little bumblebee walk again, but I'm not sure that's it. Let me see. Is that it? Oh, no. Okay. I went the wrong way for that one. Let me try this again. The bumblebee. Yes, here we go. Here we go. Yes, there we go. Love that. Love that. You know, you may have heard that there are some people that are just like, well, why won't they just show the kids? It is their choice. It is their choice. Nobody should blame the Sussexes for having any type of second thoughts or misgivings about sharing those kids with the public, considering how that one radio personality treated Archie's birth. And over time, maybe something will change, maybe it won't. But either way, that is the Sussex's choice whether something changes, right? That is their choice. So until such time, they could laugh about, oh, we just see a hand, a foot, and this and that. Well, isn't it interesting that Beatrice and Eugenie basically are doing the same things to protect their children? Because, as far as I know, they don't get around the clock royal protection. So if they're away from their children, if the children are at school or something like that, it just makes sense to maintain their privacy. And plus, it's none of their business. And the laws in California are very strict, which is why the Sussexes are in a very good place, because the laws are very strict about the privacy of children. So there you go. Next week, we're talking to a founder who sold a majority stock in her billion-dollar brand to build something completely new. So as you know, the Blakely lady, she sold her interest in Spanx. And so she doesn't, let me see, she sold the majority stake. Yeah. So I don't think she has control of it anymore. But let's just assume it's done what it was supposed to do for her. And now she's moving on to do some other projects, which is good for her. Okay, I'm going to share a longer version of Meghan and Lily, but actually, this one will show you Meghan in the kitchen uh, putting the honey in a jar. So give me just a second to get that queued up. Now, there is some music, I believe. So per copyright, I'm not able to include the music, but yeah, it's just 1 minute long. So let me get that set up, and then we'll watch it together. Cool, cool. Right. Oh, thank you so much, Lydia. I will pin that to the top of the chat. There you go. That is the last episode of Confessions of a Female Founder, premiered in the wee hours of the morning. Okay. I bet Meghan is just having the time of her life. Who would have ever thought growing up that she would be her own beekeeper, So again, there's no sound for this. Yeah, at least I think there was music in the whole thing, but either way, I tuned it out because okay, so when you buy the honey, if you bought the honey from the as ever, basically this is what you got was part of the actual honeycombs with the honey. And apparently the shelf life is forever. It keeps like wine. And mead wine is actually made from honey, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, billionaire. She was the youngest self-made female billionaire in history, the youngest self-made female billionaire. So yeah, there you go. That is Meghan doing some work with her bees. That is so cool. I guess if I had the opportunity, I would want to do something like that. And Meghan had to go and specially buy those. Well, she had to find some specially made bee suits for the kids so that they can participate with her. Oh my God, those kids are going to be so prepared for everything life has to offer. So again, that is Sarah Blakely right there. She was the founder. She is the founder of Spanx, and now she's moving on to another product. Wait till you see it. And also take a look here. Meghan Markle was interviewing Spanx founder Sarah Blakely on the latest episode of her podcast released today, pictured with Jamie Kern Lima. So, of course, Jamie is on the right, Sarah Blakely in the middle, and that, of course, is Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. And you may remember this is when they went to that like female founder retreat, seminar, whatever, something on the East Coast. Yeah, that's what that occasion was. I think Bobby Brown, the makeup lady, was there, and gosh, I can't think of who else was there, but wasn't that a interesting day? So if you want to be successful, you have to hang around successful people. I believe that the people who need to share with this information, or to share the, or well, actually to um, accept. No, what word am I looking? Well, anyway, the people who need to hear the confession series are going to be very well served. They're going to be very well served. I think anyone can benefit from it in just about anything in life, but whatever the case may be, um, they're very well made. They inspire, they inform. I think they're fantastic. Now, sneaks. That is the next big thing from Sarah Blakely. What do you all think? Is the world ready for a combination athletic shoe stiletto? I repeat, is the world ready for an athletic shoe stiletto? And by the way, uh, any of these shoes that you see here, they you can get the custom tone. So when you go to the Sneaks website, there is like, oh, I think one of the shoes had, at least I clicked on one of them, and there were 4 different color sets that you could get for that individual shoe. So you can pretty much design your own shoe. And apparently, they're supposed to wear just like an athletic shoe. These shoes are supposed to equally distribute your weight so you don't feel like you're in a classic stiletto. Now, Sarah Blakely said what inspired her was that she saw, what was the shoe guy? Was it Christian Louboutin? Gail King was interviewing him, and she was saying, when are you going to make a shoe that wears like blah, blah, blah? And he was very dismissive of Gail King. And I think it was Louboutin. I don't want to misquote who the person was. Um, but anyway, it's in the podcast. And she said that is what she, of course, Sarah Blakely, she said that is what inspired her to take on the challenge to find something elegant and comfortable that women can wear. Um, the shoes have been out for a while, and I have never seen any of them away from an advertisement. So it seemed like a great idea. There's something about the posture that is created from a stiletto that makes them so popular, the way you stand, the way you walk, and everything like that. So um, you really cannot beat the experience of what a woman looks like in a stiletto. But the classic stilettos, where you're putting all of that weight down into that shoe and on the ball of your foot and everything, that ain't fun. Um, I used to work with wedding parties, and I have witnessed people starting the wedding and ending the wedding. And aside from a lot of people being drunk, there are a lot of people carrying, a lot of ladies carrying their shoes or switching over to the ballet slipper. So I have witnessed how painful that is. I've witnessed it. Okay, I don't see a lot of comments. Okay, those straps throw me off. Carmen's Place says she needs those shoes. You like those shoes, Janet Williams? Okay. I mean, if you're gonna wear them with some trousers, I could see if you're wearing some trousers. If you're wearing some long trousers, then it seemed like it would make a lot of sense. Um, but I think a lot of women would want the shoe more open, if that was possible, to open it up instead of. Oh, you've seen Gayle King wearing them. Okay. I mean, but I don't know, my mind cannot really process that it's elegant because I'm still thinking running shoe, running shoe, running shoe. And maybe, I mean, okay, my eyes are drawn to the single colors, like the one in the upper left, the one at the bottom, the black and white one, and the navy blue one. My eyes are drawn to that. So I don't think that I like the ones where there's multiple colors. So if it's a single color, that seems to make more sense. But stilettos are not just the way they look, they're the way they feel. And I think that having the extra height, having the shifting of the posture is one of the experiences of wearing the stilettos. So I think that a lot of women will definitely want that feeling, and that you could have that without being crippled by the end of the night must be appealing to someone, or by the end of the day. But could you wear those to an office? Now, there are a lot of offices where people have dressed down. They have casual Friday and all that kind of stuff. So not every office is as dressy. But I think if you have a single color, you could probably get away with it. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna move on. Oh, you know what? When you look at the website, they do have some ankle socks. I saw at least two pairs of ankle socks, and I guess they were cut or shaped just for the sneaks. So sneaks does have the ankle socks to go with it. Okay. Okay. Okay, you think the total black ones? Yeah, and I'm thinking that if everything is one color, it makes more sense. And even with the stripes, or I'm sorry, even with the thicker tread at the bottom, it still makes your foot appear shorter, right? Your foot is not as long because of the heels. So even though the shoe is a lot chunkier than a conventional stiletto, you 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 don't look like Sasquatch, or you know because your feet are not going to be as long simply because you're wearing heels. So okay, all right, I think we're good with this one. I think we're good with this one. But surely trousers, denim, if you're wearing some denim, I don't see how any of these shoes can go wrong if you're wearing denim. But it's going to be that awkward question, what do you have on your feet? But you know what? The world may get past that. The world may get past that question of what do you have on your feet. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I wish Sarah Blakely all the luck. I wish her all the luck. I think she's on to a great idea, and I think under the right circumstances, it is going to work. Oh, okay. Let me change I'm going to switch what's up top there. There you go. I put the birthday celebration up at the top. Thank you very much, Lydia Washington. Okay, next, Harry at the in Shanghai. Still, that was quite a move by Harry to go to Shanghai, and nobody was the wiser. At least, yeah, nobody. It seemed like nobody was the wiser. Now, it's so weird that I encountered something, something that says that, I mean, okay, you guys, it was a flat out lie about the event. I won't even say what it said because, again, I don't want to keep anything like that going. And it was just this one place that I saw, but it was a flat out lie. Those people invited Harry. It was a very successful event. And I, I'm starting to think that some of those accounts on YouTube that are so hateful, why do I get the feeling that that's a squatty playing both sides of it? You guys ever get that feeling? Like some of those hate channels is really a squatty playing both sides. They have a Sussex friendly space and they also have a hate space. You guys ever get that feeling? And for the love of God, don't start throwing names around because we don't want to point a finger at anybody. But I just get that feeling sometimes that there may be some kind of squatty playing both sides of it. So I hope that's not the case. I really do. I hope that's not the case. But it just fortunately, most of the ones that I'm thinking about are not big channels. They're very small channels, which also lends to the idea that it looks a bit suspicious. And it may not seem like it. It may not seem like it, but I do believe that the consumption um I think the consumption for you know the hate for the sake of hate, I think that that's dying down. I think that people are losing their appetite for it. I don't think there's as big an appetite for the hate as it was, even a year ago. Yeah, I think it's kind of contracted a bit, but still it persists. And I do look at a lot of comments. Most times I don't respond, but I do look at a lot of comments. And you see increasingly people accusing whoever the source is, they're accusing them of putting misinformation out there. Now, it's not so helpful because, I mean, let's face it, it's still misinformation. Um, so it's not so helpful that people are calling them out. But then again, it is helpful because for me, it helps to calm my nerves to know that there's reasonable people out there. So, you know, sometimes you got to take what you can get. Okay, I am going to try and share. I'm going to try and share some of. I just um, grabbed like maybe anyway a handful of very short images, short videos, like 20 something seconds here and 20 something seconds there, um, that I grabbed of Harry speech because I don't think we saw the entirety of the speech. But let me see if I can make that happen. Give me just a second. Okay. I'm trying to make this so I don't get in trouble. Yeah, I'm trying to make it so I don't get in trouble. Okay. So I think we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a couple of these may repeat, but we'll try it anyway. So, brother, how are you doing tonight? So, brother says, the hate that the UK media is trying to spin toward the Sussexes is staggering and starting to backfire on the royal family. Yeah, I think so. I think so because there's enough people that are intelligent enough to notice the Harry and Meghan bad, Will and Kate good theme, right? There's enough people who will never forgive Charles and never forgive Camilla, no matter what. And I tell you, Charles, if he is sick or not sick, the fact that he announced his illness or announced some illness has bought him a lot of sympathy for his reign. It has been very effective. Real or imagined, it is definitely helping his it's helping his stature, his public image. Because the first thing I thought of, I was just like, wow, that's so sad. He just got on the throne and now XYZ, right? And I'm sure a lot of people felt that way.
Firstly, I want to thank Trip.com Group for inviting me to be here with you today. Trip.com's mission statement, which is to pursue the perfect trip for a better world, is closely aligned to our commitment as travellers to sustainable travel and tourism. This is an exciting...
Okay, that was one. Let's see if the next one is different.
And supporting local economies as significant motivators for pursuing more sustainable travel options. In fact, research by Trip.com Group reveals that 38% of travellers consider cultural impacts when planning their travel.
小红书
Okay. Sha'ushu to you too. Sheshe Lee. Kamsamida. Sheshe Lee. Sheshe. Okay. Kanishiwa. Okay.
Before Prince Harry gave the keynote speech, I would like to share a very short story. The first time when I met with Prince Harry many years ago, he told me the story and his experience in Africa. He saw how much the hard work local villagers put in to promote.
Okay. Now that was all of that one. I got one more, and then that's the little bits and pieces that I was able to gather.
Trip.com's mission statement, which is to pursue the perfect trip for a better world, is closely aligned to our commitment as travellers to sustainable travel and tourism. This is an exciting moment for the industry. Last year, the world welcomed 1.4 billion international tourist arrivals, a remarkable 11,000 increase.
1.4 tourist travels last year. 1.4 billion. And what is there, like 9 billion people on the planet? Well, they say that statistically, 1 in every 5 persons on the planet has been on a plane. So that means like what? 2 point something billion people have been on a plane before? Or is it under 2 billion people have been on a plane in their lifetime? That is incredible. That is incredible. And it's a testament to how safe flying is. That out of those billions of flights, almost a certainty that you are going to make it there alive. So when people say how afraid they are to fly, yeah, you're perfectly entitled to be afraid, but statistically, you are going to make it. It is so rare that you're not going to make it. We go years without like a huge commercial disaster, years. And that is a testament to the aviation industry. So it is such a privilege to be able to fly somewhere. Such a privilege. Um, I I was looking at one of the I don't know. Let me ask this question. When you guys watch some of those travel shows, is it difficult for you to watch those people that complain about every little thing, or do you find that information helpful? Because it ruins everything for me. I mean, it just like really kills my buzz. I love Rick Steves because he's always positive and he will say, yes, there may be this problem or that problem, but generally such and such. I'm good with that. But for someone to complain about everything, there's this one kid that has an aviation channel and he travels all over the place. He wears glasses and I think he has blonde hair. He wears glasses. I don't even remember what his name was. And anytime he comes across my feed, I just like hurry up and delete it so it doesn't pop up again. But everything is a complaint, a complaint, a complaint. This could have been better. That could have been this and other airlines. I don't care about that, man. I'm so happy to go somewhere. I'm just like a golden retriever. Just let me stick my face out the window and let my tongue hang across the side of my face. Let the wind blow the smells through my nostrils like I'm in an old Ford F-150 pickup truck. That's me. I'm on the road. I'm going someplace. I am too happy to worry about a sandwich that has more mayo than meat. Too happy. I'll buy a proper sandwich when I get there. But some of those people, oh, they really kill my buzz. I'm like, oh, okay. One of the guys that I watch is from the UK. Don't remember his name, but he went to Venice. He stayed in a vintage palace hotel. You could see this place and you know that at one point this was a very palatial home for someone. He had a room filled with antiques. The books on the table probably cost upwards of 900 euro, right? The place is filled with antiques. And it wasn't the worst complaining, but this time he brought his wife with him. And it seemed like they both get each other agitated. And I was just like, this is hard to watch. This man goes all over the world checking out hotels. And yes, that is his job. That is his job. But for someone who wants to visit that country or stay at that hotel, I'm telling you, he'll ruin it for you. Put them on a no-fly list. Oh man, you know what? Funny you should say that, because that there was one person who did a thing about, oh, I want to say it was for one of those airlines. It could have been Qatar. It could have been, I'm sorry, Qatar. It could have been Emirates. It was one of those companies over there. I don't remember which one. And he did a thing about his flight, and the entire flight crew was fired. Now, he did not mean for that to happen, but the entire crew was fired. And eventually, they made it very clear that he needs to remove the video that he made. He refused to do it. Oh, that's why they fired them, because he refused to remove the video. So to let him know that they meant business, they fired the entire flight crew. Remember, I don't know which airline it was. It could have been this one or that one. I just know it was one of those from over there. And they fired the whole crew. Now, I forgot what they did wrong or what something, but it was just, oh man, that was like pretty serious. All because he had to find every little thing to complain about. Both of those are some of the best airlines in the world. I mean, both of those carriers have superb service. But it was one little thing that he just had to make a fuss about. And now the whole crew is fired. Satisfied? Satisfied? Yeah, satisfied. Oh, well. I'm too happy to go somewhere. I'm just saying for the record. Yes, I hate when stuff go wrong. I hate when something ain't quality, but I'm so glad to go somewhere. I really don't care. Um, you're wondering how they came up with that number? That is interesting. I don't know. I did research for how many people in the world. It said 8 billion and 0.62 people in the world. Wait, 8 billion point. Oh, okay. I'm strangely curious about how many. Oh, okay. So not about how many people have flown, but just so yeah. Okay, I get you. I'm sorry. I thought you meant about how many. How did they come up with how many people have flown? But so you're saying is 8 billion. Wow, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. 8 billion inhabitants, and the world is getting smaller by the day. 8 billion. Thank you so much for sourcing that. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness, don't they look tired? Isn't it bliss? Are we a pair? Me here on the ground, you in midair. But where are the clowns? And so they arrived, and so they left. Why is it like it looks like Camila? Yeah, Camila looks like she's dressed for a funeral, don't she? I mean, they are toe up from the flow up. Have you heard that expression? Toe up from the flow up. Exhausted, spent, haggard. What is that new one we learned yesterday? Whatever it was. There's another definition for them. Let me see if I can. Oh, yes. I remember what it was. Okay. Wait, don't nobody help me. I got it. It was huh? Nope, that's not it. There it is. Woo! Okay, here goes. I've been rained on, rode hard, and put up wet. That's it right there. Poor Camila, spirit just broken. I'm pretty sure when she got on that plane that the first thing she did was reach for the beverage cart. I'm sure that they reached for the beverage cart. I'm sure Camila wasn't feeling anything by the time that plane took off. King Charles appears to send a message to Donald Trump as he opens Canada's parliament after the US president's 51st state threats. I am very sure that Donald Trump finds it difficult to sleep tonight because of that scathing message he received from King Charles III when he opened Parliament, officially opened the Canadian Parliament. I'm pretty sure he just about crapped his pants over those words that Charles, I noticed that they don't, with the articles, they don't even tell you what the words were. I just noticed that. I still don't know what it was that he said that was supposed to straighten him out. That was supposed to let me see. Did they ever say what he said that was supposed to have shaken Donald Trump to his core? Because they barely covered it. You guys know that, don't you? They have barely covered this thing. Oh, by the way, can somebody contact Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and the devil that wears Prada, Anna Wintour? Can somebody inform them that they fell out with each other? Because I'm pretty sure that neither of them are aware of it. But if you have the time, could you tell them that they've fallen out with each other? Thank you. Okay. Oh Lord. No, I don't see. Let me see. Marsha says, seriously, I think the Ragloids want to start some mess between Orange Menace and Chuck. They want Orangey to talk mess. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm asking because I'm just like all day I have been waiting to hear. I've been trying to figure out what was it that Charles said that put a bee in his bonnet, and I couldn't find it. That should be interesting. Although the last time William and Harry was supposed to be in the same city at the same time, If you guys remember, William was a no-show. And then, of course, his handler, his mouthpiece, the gatekeeper, Rebecca English, remember she said, "Oh, William said months ago that he wasn't going. I was driving down the street on my way to a doctor's appointment, and I saw William in his car, and the way that he looked at me, I realized that he was trying to tell me." The way that he looked at me, I could see that he was trying to tell me that he wasn't going to New York, and it had nothing to do with Harry. He didn't even have to say the words. It was just the way that he looked at her that told her everything that she needed to hear. Remember that one? Or am I mixing that up with the story about how she witnessed him going to see Kate? Nobody else had a camera and saw him going to the hospital. No one else, though there were no other witnesses. Nobody ever witnessed William going to see Kate except for Rebecca, don't call me the grimace English, who just happened to be on her way to her Ozempic appointment, allegedly. And she happened to see William, and you know what I'm saying. So either way, whatever it is to get William out of the hot seat, trust and believe Rebecca English either saw it or heard it or thought it or dreamt it or something. Lex says they're trying to embiggen Charles III and show the authority of the monarch and help show Canada why they need the monarchy. Yet they are fearful that Trump will notice their tabloid fodder and respond. You know what, Lex? And that is exactly what happened today. That's probably why they won't quote what it is that Charles didn't say. That's why they won't say what he didn't say, because they are afraid that Trump's gaze shall fall upon them, and then it'll be over for them. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have some information on that score. Okay, so Charles sends vital message to Trump in his speech from the throne at Canada's opening of Parliament, writes Rebecca English. So there you could see the very wide and massive face of Rebecca English. She went and got herself a nice little blow dry hairdo and everything. So she says, in his speech from the throne, made of wood from Windsor oak, no less, Charles spoke of his deep pride and pleasure in witnessing Canadians coming together in a renewed sense of national pride, unity, and hope. He also highlighted the country's unique identity and made clear in the strongest possible terms, within the remit of his role as a constitutional monarch, of course, his personal pride in the crown has for so long been a symbol of unity for Canada. To huge applause from MPs, he added, as the anthem reminds us, the true North is indeed strong and free. Okay. Well, I'm glad she heard all of that because I didn't. Now, on the right side there, you can see they published this article, and check it out. Look at how many comments there are. Look at how many comments there are. Are you counting the comments? Because there isn't any. I'm sure there's a handful by now, but I'm just surprised. You would think that with such an important topic, there would be a lot to say. So Graham Smith, who loves to go after the royals, says, so desperate to travel and put on his unearned medals, but can't say anything of substance. And of course, he's responding to Cameron Walker. Many Canadians are feeling anxious and worried about the drastically changing world around them. Canadians can give themselves far more than any foreign power on any continent can ever take away. Well, I'm so glad that Charles went to Canada. That's really going to stare down Trump. Yep, that's going to change everything. So up there, take a look at this. It says, apparently, Angus Reid poll the Canadians think what the Canadians think of King's visit and speech. Royally indifferent. 83% of Canadians say they don't care that King Charles will deliver throne speech. 83% says they don't care. 83% of Canadians are just not interested. They're just not so into Charles. They don't care. That's huge. 83%. Now, this is before the speech. I can't imagine anything's changed much after the speech. 83% are indifferent. The new public opinion poll from the nonprofit Angus Reid Institute show a whopping 83% of Canadians say they are indifferent or don't care about the monarch's historic visit, where Charles will read the throne speech, which will outline the Carney government priorities for the upcoming parliamentary session. What is your reaction to King Charles delivering the throne speech? Just blah. Very, very uninterested. Oh, and by the way, you guys, there's an average of about, 15% of people that are excited about the King's speech. So I'm guessing BC is British Columbia, right? 18% are excited, 82% are not excited. Oh, the average is 17%. Okay, I got that. AB, is that Alberta? Is that Alberta? 12% are excited. And SK, I'm guessing that's Saskatchewan? 11%. And what is MB? MB is that Montreal? Is that Montreal, Quebec? 15%. And ON, I've never seen these before in my life. No, Quebec must be QC. And what is ATL? You guys, I don't know what those are. Is that what they use for like the postal code? So ON is Ontario, QC is Quebec. What is ATL and MB? Those are the two I don't get. ATL and MB. What do those mean? ATL, what is that? Is that the metro area for Toronto? Okay. Okay, so these are all regions. Oh, Manitoba. Thank you, Manitoba. Okay, I would have never got that. But I'm still good with the other ones, right? I got the other ones right? Except for ATL. Well, we know it's not Atlanta. Okay, I'm still waiting for ATL. Manitoba. Thank you so much for that. Why do I think ATL got something to do with Nova Scotia? Atlantic region. Thank you. Okay, so the Atlantic region, 20%. Quebec, 10%. These are all regions. Ontario, 21%. Manitoba, 15%. Saskatchewan, 11%. Alberta region, 12%. And British Columbia is 18%. Okay. That's cool. I never saw that before, but I like that. Anyway, so the national average for Canada and their, you know, level of excitement for the king visiting and even giving a speech is just 17% of the people are excited, and 83% talking about being underwater. Oh my God. You guys, could you imagine if the numbers in the UK were like that? Could you imagine if the numbers in the UK were this low? Do you know how many people in the royal family would have different types of illnesses by the time this poll was released to the public? Camilla would have whooping cough. Let me see. William would have gout. To go with their other diseases. I'm trying to think. Edwina would have whatever kind of body dysphoria, which that's probably happening already. And whatever's wrong with Sophie Wessex, I'm sure she got some kind of malady or something. So whatever it is, they will make all of these things public so that people will feel sorry for them. And hopefully that will raise those poll numbers. Suzette Bailey, of course, Trump is up pacing the floor tonight because he's so nervous and upset about what Charles is saying and thinking and feeling. Wouldn't you panic too if some old man with puffy hands, cherry lip gloss, and childbearing hips, if that man were to say some disparaging things about you, wouldn't you be upset? I mean, the idea that he would come walking towards you with those childbearing hips, that would be so frightening. I know the thought of it scares me. Let's see. Canadians uninterested in King Charles' coronation. British Monarchy survey suggests only 12% of respondents said it was good news that Charles is now king, compared to 14% who said it was bad news and 67% who are, guess what, indifferent. And that, of course, was a survey from March the 4th of 2023. So the idea that Charles is king left most of the Canadian public feeling rather indifferent. Good for them. Well. You guys, please tell me that the kids were not allowed to stay home from school today. Because could you imagine if a child, let's say if the child is a latchkey kid, You have the whole run of the house until mom comes home from work or whatever, until dad comes home from work, and you're unsupervised. Of course, when I was a kid, the first thing I would do was my homework. I'm just kidding. I would turn on the television, and of course, I would see whatever happened in the news. I'd watch the afternoon movie or whatever. Um, Unfortunately, some Canadian children would come home and turn on the television to be greeted by the wicked witch of the devil. That's right, Camila, the wicked witch of the devil. Those poor kids. How confusing it must be if you're a child and you're just coming home and there's no one there to comfort you, and you turn on the television and there's Camila staring at you. Yeah, staring at you. Like the mummy's revenge of the mummy, just staring at you. Oh, well, they do have child psychologists available in Canada, right? Because some of those kids are going to need it. If they were unfortunate enough to come home and switch on the telly, and there's the king and queen consort. And of course, he doesn't always look so appealing himself. Now, let me show you this. Do you guys recognize that dress from the F.W. Woolworth and Company? By the way, I forgot to say it, but I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Do you guys see that horrid apology of a dress from F.W. Woolworth? Yes, Camila thought it was a good idea to wear that same apology of a dress. This time she wore it in Canada. How could she be so careless, so thoughtless? Those people haven't done anything to her. Not a thing. And yet she walks around wearing that horrible nightmare of a dress. And then I realized that's where I've seen it before. When she was walking around looking like a big sloppy mess. That is the same dress. I recognize that startling pattern anywhere. Oh, speaking of startling, there is the king wearing his cherry lip gloss. Just for the occasion, he is wearing his favorite cherry lip gloss and lots of foundation. That looked like some of that Coty foundation. Remember Coty? Was that the name of it? The translucent foundation or powder? Yeah, I think he's wearing Coty. Like somebody took a big giant powder puff and just poof, right into his face. That way he will appear more attractive on camera. But if they went through all that trouble to make him look more attractive, why didn't they do any? Oh, I guess they did. I was going to say, why didn't they do anything for her? But I guess they did. Oh, well, I guess they did do something for her. Not much, but something. But yeah. Anyway, you guys, Charles is happy and he made himself useful. I still don't know exactly what it is he has done, but they say he did something. So good for him. Something happened. So he really wants to move the needle. Prince Harry's travel charity chief lays out 50-year vision. In a rare interview, Travelers chief executive Sally Davy tells Ilaria Grasso Macala why Prince Harry's sustainable travel charity is focusing on projects that will have a lasting impact over the next 50 years. Well, that's good. And there you can see I guess that's supposed to be the staff of Travelers, maybe. And right here, you can see the article that was shared. I'm thinking they interviewed her. But either way, very nice. Good for her. I like her. Well, let me tell you the most important thing about this. You want to see what's important? What's important is the Duke founded Travelers in 2019 after realizing travelers wanted to make better purchasing decisions when it comes to their holidays, but the information at their disposal was frequently limited and often difficult to grasp. So again, Prince Harry, the founder, the Duke is the founder. Davy highlights how he recognized that while travel companies and technology firms were making progress on various sustainability challenges, they were not only operating independently of each other, but often competing with one another. Well, that won't do. They cancel each other out. So enters Prince Harry with his bright idea, and the rest, of course, is sustainable history. God bless Prince Harry. Prince Harry Travelers to launch its first version of its data hub, a single source of truth for all travel, sustainability information this year. CEO Davy reveals in new interview with TTG Media. The charity will also attend events at the COP30 in Brazil. Now, is that the one where someone was saying that Harry and his brother might run into each other? And then over here on the right, it says, she adds, working with the Duke has been eye-opening and inspiring experience. She praises Prince Harry's long-term vision, telling TTG he is more focused on work likely to have a lasting impact rather than little campaigns. Speaking of little campaigns, when is he supposed to run into his brother? I'm so messy. I love that. So the lady that introduced Harry at the in Shanghai, I think this is her right here. See that? This article is from the 20th of December, 2024. There's Harry with his Travelers people. I remember this occasion. I wasn't sure what they talked about, but I do remember that. Look at Harry taking charge, leading a discussion group. I love that for him. Oh, yes. Ghanaian World War II veteran receives a gift from Prince Harry for his 100th birthday. They posted this again. This has probably been like as of 2 weeks ago, but he did receive a special Invictus medal. Now, I tried to find, not medal, but coin. I tried to find the image of the collectible coin, but I could not find it. But I guess it's like well, as you guys know, every U.S. president has a commemorative coin that they hand out. So yeah, all presidents have commemorative coins. And I guess some not-for-profits like Invictus, they also provide coins for, people who have done something special or reached a milestone. So that's pretty nice. I like that. Prince Harry is a stay-at-home dad without much to do, according to new documentary. Oh, really? You mean to tell me Prince Harry just sits around the house and sulks and think about how terrible it is that he won't be able to be abused by his family, or that they won't be able to, I guess, go after his family and all that kind of stuff? I guess Harry kind of misses that, huh? Because all he's doing is just staying at home and doing nothing. Just eating cold pizza and watching sport programs or something like that. That's all he does. Or did he just pull a tremendous ninja move and went off to Shanghai and nobody was any way close to knowing where he was? They didn't even know he left the country. How about that? They didn't even know he left the country. So the reason why I'm saying all of this is because the writer J.P. Panobo wrote an article, Prince Harry stay-at-home dad with nothing to do except fly to China and deliver global keynote, obviously. Now, there is a hint of sarcasm there, but I think you understand. It says, oh dear, the Daily Mirror is worried about Prince Harry again. This time, they've wheeled out a Channel 5 documentary and a clutch of commentators to paint a picture of the Duke of Sussex as a man adrift, a lost soul, a stay-at-home dad without much to do, as one quote has it from, let me see, this from Anne Widdecombe. Oh, I think I know which one that is. I think I know who she is. Anne Widdecombe, a woman whose public opinion have been echoing through the damp corridors of irrelevance since approximately 1995. I love this writer. Aren't they great? Yes, the Anne Widdecombe, the one who affectionately known in her political heyday as Doris Karloff. Get it? Boris Karloff? Doris Karloff? She must be a looker, huh? Okay. Affectionately known in her political heyday as Doris Karloff, the one whose career trajectory took her from the conservative front bench to dancing awkwardly on reality TV. The same Anne who now hangs on Nigel Farage's every word and apparently an authority on what Prince Harry should be doing with his life. How he is spending his life, as she asked, I've heard people say he's a stay-at-home dad without much to do, possibly. Who is this Anne Widdecombe? I got to see what she looks like. I got to see what she looks like so I can tear her down. Anne Widdecombe. I know I remember the name, but I just can't remember what she looks like. I bet she's a real beast. I bet she looks like the beast of the Southern Wild. Let me see. Anne, you better look right. Ah! Oh my God. I know who that is. That's the one who that's the one that's on Jeremy Vine. You know, the one who's always going through her notes. She literally sits on television and goes through her notes so she can figure out what the talking points are. That's who Anne Widdecombe is. Yes, she is the hollowed, fossilized remains of a reporter. She is what's left of a reporter, of a so-called journalist. You mean to tell me that thing was on TV dancing? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, well. I don't like her. She's awful. Okay, there's more to the article. Possibly not, she says. Possibly you could Google it, and because while you and your fellow commentators were wringing your hands over Harry's supposedly aimless existence, the man himself was, check notes, flying to Shanghai, meeting with global tourism leaders, and delivering a keynote speech at a major international sustainability summit. Just a regular day for a guy with nothing to do. Oh, she's good. I like her. She or he. We don't know if this is a guy or a girl. So, okay, it continues. While certain corners of the British press continue their deeply serious investigation into Lily's wellies and whether Meghan smiled in a way that suggests she's plotting to overthrow the monarchy, Harry was on stage at the Trip.com group Envision 2025 event. There he spoke about Travelers, the nonprofit he founded to help build more sustainable, more equitable global tourism industry. But sure, let's keep pretending he's just wandering around the garden, wondering what time the cricket's on. Let me see. A man who has launched an eco travel coalition involving Google, Bookings.com, Skyscanner, and Trip.com, who just sat down with the governor of Tourism Authority of Thailand to talk about economic fairness and environmental responsibility, who's reshaping how we think about tourism. That man is being described in British media as directionless. That's it. Harry is directionless. See, they're so bad they had to invent a word. You almost have to admire the sheer commitment of the British media to their make-believe Sussex cinematic universe. The idea that Harry might simply be happy is too radical a thought for those joyless souls to process. So instead, we get psychological autopsies from a woman who once said single mothers should be housed in hostels. Yes, the woman who once said single mothers should be housed in hostels. The Mirror and company are even pretending to report the news. They're simply churning out Sussex fan fiction for people who envy the Sussexes. It's all anonymous insiders, palace aides, and retired politicians offering commentary about people they have absolutely no contact with. Meanwhile, Harry is out there living in full color, shaping policy, meeting global figures, and flashing the kind of happy smile that makes his detractors break out in hives. Is Prince Harry a man with nothing to do? Only if you define nothing as international advocacy, global leadership, raising kids, and treating your hot wife like the queen she is, while the press froths at the mouth because he dared to marry a woman with actual self-respect. Anne Widdecombe wonders aloud, where is all this going? Well, Anne, it seems it's going global. While you were grateful for a few minutes airtime talking to Channel 5. End of story. So, you guys, I just purchased that book, the one that you see on the screen. J.P. Knoble authored that book. There's actually, I think, 3 or 4 other books in the collection. Well, I purchased this one, and I intend to purchase the others. Now, you can take the title and the name and go to, what is it? Amazon. You can go to Amazon and you can find that book. You can find that book. If you enjoy the writing style of this author, you will enjoy that book. So, again, it is available for sale. But yeah, JP writes articles almost every day. So you should subscribe, that is, to JP's website. Yeah, you should do that. Let me see if I can grab the link for you. But yeah, I always enjoy JP's writing. Okay, so there's that. And I do believe there's something new almost every day. So there you go. I'm going to put that link at the top of the chat if you want to check out the website. This is a link to the website. And you could also find the advertisement for the book on the website. So again, this is written by J.P. Knoble. Very well written. I love it. Khadijah A. Hall Media. Hi, everyone. Basically, oh, I don't do this because it's moving. Basically, what little Anne is saying is, I know you guys have seen footage of Prince Harry making big money moves, making big philanthropist moves, but believe me, you're not. I'm sorry, not your lying eyes. That's right. Believe me, not your lying eyes. So that is what Anne is saying: is don't accept Harry's happiness, efficiency, and of course popularity. Accept that he is miserable. You have to believe Anne Widdecombe, the lady who sits there on Jeremy Vine and pull out little scraps of paper to read all of the vicious things that she don't want to forget to say. I mean, it really is pathetic. She sits there like she's on a debate club. Well, I tell you what, if my phone ever rings and I hear her say, I've fallen and I can't get up, I'm going to say, well, what you want me to do? Yep. What you want me to do about it? And with all the answers. Yeah, she's a ultimate right winger. Thank you so much for your comment, Khadijah. All right. Just in case you guys didn't look her up, let me show you what this old worn out billfold looks like. Well, before I show you, just imagine you left your tea bag in your teacup too long, right? And then when you pull it out, it's very fragile, like the tea leaves. Well, anyway, I'll let you see what she looks like. You can see that she went to school with Moses. long before Moses parted the Red Sea, he was classmates with Anne Widdecombe. That's right. Long before the what do you call it? Long before the natives crossed the Bering Straits and walked down into what would later on be known as North and South America, long before that happened, Anne Widdecombe was still making up stuff. Yes. Yeah, she's a trip. What's that? I need a little more time. Thank you very much. You guys, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. That is how we pay the light bill. That's how we keep the lights on. See, when you hit the thumbs up, it drives the engagement of this channel, and even more people will have the pleasure of watching, listening to Royal Sussex, where you never know what time we're going to start, and you certainly don't know when we're going to end. That Royal Sussex. And the weirdest part is you never know what I'm going to say. What am I going to say next? I don't know. Trust me, I don't know either. I don't know either. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm done. That was the last thing. Wow, that's so weird. That was the last thing. Let me see here. Nope, not that. Not that. Not you, Santa Claus. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, that was the last thing. See? Wow, that went by kind of fast. Only 2 hours. Well, you guys, thank you very much for watching Royal Sussex. As always, thank you to the moderators for keeping this a very safe space to be. Thank you to everyone who has a membership, everyone who has contributed in the past, present, and future. And of course, thank you all for trusting me to do this work. That means more to me than you could ever know. And yeah, I'm very, very happy. Anne Widdecombe is so old, Santa Claus is her son. Yeah, she gave birth to Santa Claus. That's how old she is. That's how old she is. When she was born, they were still talking about some purchase of real estate somewhere between New Orleans and the Great Lakes. Yeah, I think it was Napoleon who decided to sell some of the French territory to the United States. That's how far back she goes. When Anne Widdecombe was born, let me see. Oh, the Grand Canyon was like this little puddle, and eventually it eroded into one of the biggest holes in the world. That's how long she's been around. Anne Widdecombe been around so long there was no history. Yeah, everything. When she was born, there was no history. Okay. I think you all got the point. Well, at least it wasn't that much history. Anne Widdecombe is so old that she didn't get a driver's license. They gave her a stagecoach license. She was licensed to drive a stagecoach. That's how old she is. Okay, I think I'm done. I can't think of anything else. But you get the point. Okay, I'm just looking at some of your comments here. You know, the scary part is I'm sitting here thinking how she's not that much. I mean, she's obviously older than me, but I guess after a while, this is going to sound weird coming from me, ain't it? Because as I'm hurtling closer and closer to her age, okay, let me ask you guys a question. Was it weird the first time you realized that you're just as old as the president of the United States? Has that ever happened to you? Huh. I remember when Obama was president, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what year was he born? Oh man, that was sobering. That was sobering. I'm just like, gosh, I'm about the same age as the president of the United States. When did that happen? That's so awkward. When did that happen? Okay, well, she could have been my babysitter. Or technically, well, is she old enough to be my mother? Well, she's old enough to be my unwed mother. How's that? Wow. Um, that must have been a rough 77 years. There you go, the Louisiana Purchase. One time, Ann Widdecombe wanted to go on vacation. She wanted to go on vacation, and she had 3 choices of cruise ships: the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. She had a choice of 3. That's kind of cute. I just made that up myself. Ann Widdecombe, when she was going to take a vacation to America, she had a choice of 3 ships: the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. That's how old she is. uh, okay, that's pretty bad, you guys. Enough of all this ageism. I'm sure she's just as sharp as... Nah, you can't say that because she's always looking at them notes. Well, you know, Ann Widdecombe's first job, they had came up with a new way to write books, and she actually worked at a place where they had something called a printing press, which revolutionized information. So, yeah, that's how old she is. Is that she used to set the type for the printer press. Okay, that one's a little weak. No, you know what? I get that earlier. My notification from AARP, I got that earlier. They always get me. What time is it? They usually get me about 9:30. 9:30. That's when AARP gets me. Let me see here. I can tell you what time it was right now. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm looking at it. I don't see what time well, it's an email, so it should say what time it came in. But yeah, they got me today. They definitely got me today. or yesterday at this point. I'm going to say it was about 9:30 they got me. Yeah, usually around 9:30. That's when AARP reminds me that I'm eligible for a senior discount. That's so weird, though, you guys. When did I get so old? I mean, it's kind of like I dozed off, and when I woke up, my hair was looking like Pop Staples. That is so weird. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But I am jamming in the name of the law. Jamming, jamming. I want to jam with you too. Yes, AARP, the reminder, as I call it, the reminder. You could be laughing and having a good time, and then all of a sudden, there goes that email from AARP reminding you that you don't even need a checkup and you can get more insurance. Okay, before I go, you guys, please tell me, what year was it the last time you got carded? I repeat, what was the last year you were carded, and under what circumstances were you asked to present your ID? Now, for me, I still remember I was over by the DePaul University, and I went to, I think it was a blues club, and the way I was dressed, it was nighttime. I had on one of those kind of Rastafarian hats, with the colors and everything. So I had that kind of pulled down over my gnarly, bloodshot eyes, and I handed the guy at the door my ID. And he looked at it, and he looked at me, and he said, "Oh man, I thought you was one of them kids coming up in here." And I said, "No, nope, 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 nope. I was born in the 60s." So that was the last time that I was carded. And I'm going to say that was maybe 20. I'm going to say maybe 2017. Maybe it was 2017. That was the last time I was carded. Sandra, you get your reminder from Shoppers Drug Mart. Okay. Madison says, well, the first clue was when you dozed off. Oh, you think the bouncers are flirting with you? Sandra say, I never got carded. My family would send me to buy booze as a teenager. I was stacked, and all that they saw was all they saw was my blessings. Well, I used to go everywhere and did everything with the girl across the street from my aunt's house, right? And she always looked like somebody's mama. You ever see somebody always look like somebody's mama? Like Jessica Tandy, and who was the one from Murder, She Wrote? There's somebody who was younger, but they never looked like a kid, and they could like you say, you can do things, and nobody would ask questions. And I remember she and I went out one night, and I'm going to say that we went to a club. We went to a jazz club, right? And I didn't think about the fact that she wasn't old enough to get in until we got there. And so I'm so nervous about what is she going to do? What if they ask her for an ID? And do you know, she walked right past me and stood inside the door waiting for me. I didn't even see her. I'm turning around looking for her. And I'm like, where no? She didn't went in. Now, mind you, she is one of the most beautiful girls. Beautiful girls. But she always seemed older. And I guess she must have gone a lot of places and walked right in. And me standing there fidgeting with my driver's license, I had to show ID. I couldn't believe it. She just walked right in. No fuss, no worry. Oh, well. If nobody has any stories about their last time getting carded, I guess we'll call it a night or morning. Thank you very much. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. We'll have to do it again very soon. Very soon. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, no comments. We're good. All right, love you guys. I'll see you next time.